Thank you very much. Let's bring in now Senator Ashley Moody. She is a Republican from Florida, member of the Homeland Security and Judiciary Committees. She also served as Florida's Attorney General. Thank you very much, Senator, for being on the program. A lot of folks are very angry out there, not just those who are traveling, although one passenger yesterday told our reporter, fire them all, fire them on Capitol Hill. I want to read to you Liz Peek's new op-ed here, and I think she sums up the feelings of Americans right now. She writes, voters tell Congress, do your job and end the DHS showdown. Americans are furious, and rightly so. I say fix this. As wait times in airports extend to multiple hours with security lines snaking around terminals, Congress needs to do its job. There's a reason that Congress's popularity is in the gutter. Surveys show NFL replacement referees, colonoscopies, and toenail fungus among the many items that are more popular than Congress. You guys sent over an offer to Democrats to fund DHS today. We'll talk about ICE later. That's a sore subject. We'll talk about it later. And for some reason, they don't want to accept this. So explain this to the American people.
Yeah, well, first let me address the frustration with Congress. I am one of the newest U.S. senators here. I just got here this year, and I came here with the intent on saying we are working on the behalf of the people. We are here for we the people, and we need to make sure we stay mission focused on that. Our interests need to prioritize this country, American citizens, and make sure that we are protecting them and making their lives better. And so I have been fully supportive of making sure that we're putting forward rules to suspend senator pay if we can't push through funding. In fact, my colleagues put that on the floor, and the Democrats literally objected and ran out of the room. I also have just filed a resolution to withhold reimbursement for any travel for any senator as long as we are in a shutdown. That needs to be moved. That needs to pass. I, for one, believe that we need to start doing things differently here. And last night I was disheartened to hear one of my Democratic colleagues, it surfaced that he said, look, the people that matter most to us are illegal immigrants. And I think that underscores why we're in a shutdown right now. They do not want, Senator Murphy, they do not want this country to be able to have a secure border and have people that are removing people that are here that shouldn't be here, that are endangering American citizens. And I will tell you, that is what Trump pledged to do. That is what we are here to do, to support him. And yes, we want them to do that in a way that sets a very high bar of professionalism and safety and standards. But we cannot just neuter them in their mission to get that done. Too many people have been hurt. Too many communities have been affected. And I, for one, am showing up every day, mission focused to serve American citizens, this country, its security, and we need to get it done.
Well, this is a sloppy mess. I mean, I don't know how you guys come out of this when the other side does not want to engage. But part of this deal or offer you have made to Democrats is going to sideline the SAVE Act, at least for a temporary period of time until you can get it through a reconciliation process. But some of your colleagues don't think that that's actually going to work. This is Senator Mike Lee, and he tweeted this yesterday. He said it's hard to imagine how the Save America Act could be passed through reconciliation. And by hard, I mean essentially impossible. So, Senator, how do you explain to the base out there that are worried that the SAVE Act, something that's a priority for the president, is just going to get lost in all of this?
Well, it's not just a priority to the president, and I'm grateful for him for focusing on ID and citizenship proof at voting. I was an original co-sponsor of the Save America Act with Mike Lee. I've been one of the main fighters with him and others here in the Senate to get that on the floor, to get the debate started, to make sure we're pushing that to a vote and get that passed. I think that we will still do that, and Senator Lee has real concerns. If we move to a different vehicle to try and get some of those crucial substantive provisions passed that are in the Save America Act, you know, that's not a guarantee. And those of us that are advocating for that bill and want to get this done to preserve our republic, but to certainly protect our elections, we have a lot of apprehensions about that. And so the Democrats have been so hesitant and refusing to negotiate. It's been hard to even get them to come to the table. There's nothing in black and white on the table right now, but all of those concerns that you've identified are things that I'm concerned with, that my colleagues are concerned with. How do we make sure we're pushing ahead on Save America, but how do we start putting American safety first and fund fully the agency that's charged with protecting them?
Well, yesterday, the Senate confirmed the president's pick to lead the DOJ's newly created fraud division to target the abuse of taxpayer-funded programs that's happening across the country. And Senator Moody, your new bill, the Stop Fraud in Medicaid Act, actually gives state attorneys general the power now to pursue and prosecute not just providers, but the recipients who are actually committing fraud and looking to cheat all of us taxpayers. So tell us more about that, because this is what happened in Minneapolis. I mean, we have to be able to go after the people who are actually committing the crime.
Yeah, and again, I think as a former AG and a former prosecutor and judge, I can tell you a lot of times our major challenges in fraud and crime is not having enough investigators or prosecutors to really focus on and target those specific crimes. And so this would amplify the efforts of the federal government. If a beneficiary is found to have been be a bad actor or committing crimes, you can have state AGs have their authority expanded and have those teams supplement those efforts. I think that will go a long way. A lot of times the focus is on how do we study? How do we do? No, this puts more eyes on these crimes and prosecutors and investigators in place to go after these bad actors. So important. We'll get it done.
Okay, let's see if your bill goes anywhere. We've got to get a couple other things done first, and maybe we'll see this bill on the floor, too. Thank you very much, Senator Moody, for joining me.
Great to be with you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.